Hey, it's Jay from Soap Making Fun. Just imagine making your very own customized soap right in your own home. I can tell you from experience that is amazing and incredibly fun to do. When you master soap making, you'll have the ability to create any soap that you can imagine. You'll be able to create incredible looking and great smelling soap that all of your family and friends will beg you for. You'll be able to make soap that fits your personality or even soap gifts that match the personality and the needs of the person you're giving it to. You can even manipulate the soap's characteristics to make it more sudsy or give it properties that work as a remedy for an ailment. I couldn't tell you how many people get into soap making in order to fight eczema or to get away from chemicals in the name brand soaps. What's more, you can even start your own business selling your creations. However, there is a problem, and it is probably the reason you found this video. The problem is that learning to make soap can be a very daunting task. There is so much information out there that it is easy to get overloaded. Sometimes it's even hard to know where to start. You're scared to make a mistake and ruin all the great ingredients you just bought. Maybe you wanted to take a class or attend a soap making seminar only to find out that they can be very expensive and sometimes require you to travel to get to them. Maybe you tried soap making before, but it turned out like this instead of like this. Well, I can tell you that you're not alone. Most people start to learn to make soap by using the trial and error method. I know because I've been there, and since I've been there, I can tell you what made the biggest difference for me. But before I get to that, I just want to let you know that having trouble getting started in soap making isn't your fault. Yes, plenty of people have learned to make soap from reading a book, but it really isn't the best way. And usually you just end up wasting a lot of money on ingredients, muddling through for weeks or even months until you finally get a winning batch. Books aren't the best because soap making is a dynamic process, and it really pays to see everything in action. That's the thing that made the difference for me. It was only after I finally saw someone make soap right in front of me that I was able to understand how to do it for myself. That's why I think that to learn to make soap the easiest and fastest way possible, you need to see it in action. Now, if you can take a class, great. However, I understand if you can't. We already talked about how expensive they can be and how you may not even have a class in your area. That's why video is the next best thing. You get to see the process in action, but without forking over hundreds of dollars for classes and travel expenses. But there is a dark side to video. I've seen a lot of them, and the reality is that most of them are just as hard to follow as a lot of books. Either the person making the video is just an amateur with the camcorder who doesn't really explain things well, or their video equipment is so bad that you can barely tell what they're saying. Or the person is a super soap making expert who has completely forgotten what it's like to be a beginner. In both cases, you end up missing steps and have very important points glossed over, points that are vital for a beginner to get right. It's not that the amateur or the expert are bad people or that they're trying to sabotage your soap making. It's just that they haven't been able to teach beginners everything that someone starting out in soap making needs to know. Now, even though I painted this bleak picture for the prospects of learning to make soap, there is hope. Even though you may be a complete beginner, there is a way that you can discover how to make spa quality soap at home and do it easily. And it's not going to take you weeks of trial and error. In fact, it will only take you 53 minutes. And when you're done, you're going to be able to make soap without fear of making a mistake. You'll be able to make the kind of soap that is only found in boutiques